Yeah, we're figuring things out, you know. It's a process.
It is a process.
The CHAMPS Cannabis Expo. Nice thing about being doing the book signing and being the cannabis champ guy is people bring in different cannabis, and we've been brought the K Farms. People have been saying real nice things about the K Farms from the Peace Naturals. And it smells fantastic. It looks phenomenal. Get in there, get a good look. And it's really, really nice. That's from a licensed grow. It's 100% legally produced cannabis in Canada, Canadian grown, Canadian boys, locally grown even. I mean, I think they're probably within 120 kilometers of Toronto. People love that, and people are saying real good things about the Peace Naturals product. It's not just me. I always check with other sources, and to be fair, I've had a guy come by and say they really, really enjoy the Tilray product. They said Tilray's really good, and I know the guy, so.
Honestly, I'm glad there's a lot of good product coming out now, because in the initial, we seemed to be the only ones that had anything at all that was worth buying, and it did put a lot of pressure on us. And now as we're able to consistently start to pump out that product, it is good for the patients to have the selection and be able to look around and find what works for them. Because obviously, you know, we came out with a lot of strains anticipating that we could grow a lot of those strains and keep them in inventory, but that really wasn't the case initially, just because people find what they really like and that's the one they really want. And so we obviously can't keep 50 strains in inventory with the growth space that we have. So it is nice that some of these other LPs are coming out that actually do know how to grow some good product and will provide the patients with that selection. And sure, so the patients, you know, the good thing about a commercial system is they can shop around and you can try different things and find, again, what's going to work for you. Because anybody that knows anything about medical cannabis, we know it's not one size fits all. It's not a blanket prescription is going to actually make everyone better. Different strains do have different effects based on the metabolites, the terpenes, and the profiles that they have. So yeah, it's a good thing that we're able to grow good product in a legal fashion and get it out there for the patients.
As I said, it's really good. And speaking of, one of the ones that a fellow came by and said Metrum was poop.
And I can tell you, I was just a judge at the Cannabis Cup in Denver and got to try, 40 different indica strains down there as part of their judging process. And there was really only 3 to 5 that I thought were comparable to some of our top indica strains. So we do know what we're doing, I think, on a global scale, and there are really good growers out there.
I think it's the beginning stages of anything. It's a startup. It's going to have hiccups. It's going to have issues of any startup's going to have.
The regulations and the requirements of Health Canada are staggering, really, and we're learning new ones all the time, about paperwork that we need to be filling out and filing all the time, and it does make things a little more difficult than just farming a plant, which on a basic level is really what this is farming a plant. But we're trying to farm a plant in such a way that it's produced really high quality, no contaminants, and that's really is a concern for them, making sure that people aren't getting sick off of cannabis, even though most of us know it's pretty difficult to get sick off smoking a dried plant.
It's true. It's 100% true. It's a weird thing. And to put stuff in, we'll end it on. It's an interesting thing. I saw a General Motors announcement that they anticipate 50 product recalls this year. That's right. General Motors will be recalling 50 of their lines this year. And I think people need to keep that in perspective. Why I think media get really interested in the story is, hey, it's marijuana. Oh my God, it's a great story, and marijuana sells. People need to understand marijuana sells. It sells paper. It sells, it sells. People read about marijuana, watch videos, do all kinds of stuff. They don't get it, and so what it should be a normal in anything is like, it's a bit of. Every industry goes through it.
If you've ever bought a package of strawberries, you've seen the amount of mold that is allowed, to be in that package, and we all know that more people die every year in this country from E. coli infested lettuce than have ever died globally from cannabis use. So but again, being a new industry and Health Canada stepping in as taking it from Schedule 1 and making it a medicine, even though they're not calling it a medicine, they do have to legally cover themselves as well to make sure that we're not selling crap. But
I have a question. I agree. I have one question. The moisture level in the final product, They measure that. What's it like comparatively what I'm used to?
This is, again, one of the problems I find with their regulations on what we're supposed to test for, because they're calling this a dried product. And when we initially dried some of our product down to less than 5% moisture, everybody complained, too dry, too dry, too dry. And when you actually look at dried product standards in most of the pharmacopoeias, that's less than 4% is dried, and we're at 8 to 12% moisture for most of these. So they're a semi-dried product, and to hold them to dried product standards, obviously there's more microbials still living in a live plant than once you've fully dried it. So again, this is where we need to start looking at the regulations that they've set out and that the pharmacopoeias have set out, and start to, develop an accurate testing method for cannabis. Is it really a dried product, or is it a semi-mostly dried product, and therefore have a different regulation set out for that? So again, it's a new industry. There's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of learning as we progress.
And lobbying, I think on our end, I've been contemplating doing a patient group where us as patients will be like, listen, we want a semi-moist product, or, we need something. When you dry it, as you said, you dry it so low, 5%, I don't want it. But if you're forced to do it by Health Canada, we need to all step in collectively and say, I'm sorry, this is not going to work. But this is clearly spot on. That's spot on. Spot on. That's proper.
So yeah, recent tests on that are almost 25%. So I mean, you're talking
25% THC, I can smell it.
So we really have started to standardize our techniques and figure out what works for each strain each time, and get them into their maximum drug potential.
And as I say, people come to me, and it's not me saying it. I look around, and people are saying, hey, Peace Naturals is good. So people are enjoying it. When I hear a person use the word poop to describe the product, and they were very disappointed. And I also said, hey, listen, Metrum didn't want to do an interview on the marijuana zone. At least look at the companies that are doing interviews with us, and judge it how you will. So Matt Myrna for the Dope Chef with our friends from the Peace Naturals Project.
Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, thank you.
Look forward to filling a pill bottle for you.
All right. Want me to sign you a book?